The sleek, midnight blue Tesla came to a smooth halt under the glare of flashing red and blue lights. Inside, Nina Carter, a poised and successful black businesswoman, tightened her grip on the steering wheel as her heart pounded. Beside her, her 10-year-old nephew, Elijah, sat frozen, his earlier excitement replaced by a quiet, uncertain fear. The trip to his first science competition had started as a joyous occasion, but now, tension filled the air. The officer approaching the vehicle moved with sharp, deliberate strides, his hand hovering near his holster. Nina inhaled deeply, exhaling through her nose as she turned to Elijah. "Remember what I told you?" she whispered. Elijah nodded quickly. "Yes, Aunt Nina. Stay still. Keep my hands visible, and don't say anything unless you tell me to." "Good." The officer reached the driver's side window, his presence imposing. He was in his late 40s, with a crew cut and a jaw set like granite. His uniform bore the name Ryan Dalton. "License and registration," he barked, his tone void of politeness, thick with suspicion. Nina met his gaze, her expression composed. "Officer, may I ask why I was pulled over?" Ryan's jaw twitched. He clearly hadn't expected resistance. "You were speeding back there," he lied. Nina frowned. She knew she hadn't been speeding. Her Tesla's autopilot had been engaged, keeping her at a steady speed within the limit. "I don't believe I was," she said evenly, retrieving her documents and handing them over. Ryan barely glanced at them before shifting his gaze to her car. The pristine condition, the luxury model. His eyes narrowed slightly. "That's quite a car," he said. "You in the entertainment business?" Nina's stomach tightened. She had heard this line before. "I own a cybersecurity firm," she answered. "Is that relevant to why I was stopped?" Ryan's smirk was slight, but smug. He ignored the question and stepped back. "Step out of the vehicle." Elijah inhaled sharply, clutching his backpack tighter. Nina placed a hand on his knee. "Stay here, Elijah. Everything will be fine." But she didn't move. "Officer, I won't step out of this vehicle without probable cause," she said, her voice firm. "I have a child with me, and I need to ensure his safety." Ryan's face hardened. He wasn't used to being challenged, especially not by someone he had already decided was guilty of something. The murmurs of onlookers from a nearby sidewalk made his jaw clench. Several had their phones up, recording. "I said step out of the vehicle," Ryan repeated, his voice colder now. His hand twitched toward his holster. Nina, calm but unwavering, shook her head. "Unless you have a legitimate reason to detain me, I'd like to leave." The murmurs grew louder. A voice from the sidewalk called out, "We're recording." The words sliced through the air like a knife. Ryan hesitated, glancing at the crowd. His instincts screamed to maintain control, but the weight of the situation pressed down on him. He was losing control of the narrative. Then, another voice cut through the tension. "Ryan, what's going on here?" A second officer, Sergeant Olivia Ramirez, stepped out of her patrol car. She was known for her no-nonsense approach and commitment to protocol. Ryan turned stiffly. "I've got this under control," he snapped. Ramirez didn't break stride. "Doesn't look like it." She turned to Nina, her voice professional but calm. "Ma'am, are you all right?" "I am," Nina said. "But this officer pulled me over without cause and is demanding I exit my vehicle." Ramirez's sharp gaze shifted to Ryan. "Did you document the stop?" Ryan's mouth opened, but no words came out. Ramirez exhaled sharply. "You didn't turn on your body cam?" Silence. "Dash cam footage?" She pressed. Ryan Dalton's expression darkened, but he remained quiet. Ramirez turned back to Nina. "Without proper documentation, there's no legal basis for detaining you. You're free to go." A wave of relief passed through Nina, though she kept her posture steady. The crowd murmured in satisfaction as she rolled up her window and drove off. Elijah let out a breath he had been holding. "Aunt Nina, are we safe now?" Nina reached for his hand, squeezing it. "Not yet, sweetheart," she admitted. "But we will be." That night, Nina sat in her home office, replaying the incident in her mind. The fear, the humiliation, the injustice. She pulled out her laptop and began typing. This wasn't just about her. It wasn't just about Elijah. It was about every black person who had ever been profiled, harassed, or silenced. It was time to shine a light on the system that allowed this to happen. It was time for change. Meanwhile, in a dimly lit apartment across town, Ryan sat on his couch, his mind restless. The footage of the encounter had started spreading online, and he knew his life would never be the same. For the first time, he felt the weight of his actions, not just the embarrassment of being caught, but the deeper realization that his assumptions had dictated his behavior. He had let his prejudice define him. And now, the world was watching. Months later, under the soft glow of a newly opened community justice center, Nina watched as Elijah and a group of kids painted a mural on the building's exterior. The colors blended together in a symbol of unity, resilience, and hope. This wasn't just a building. It was a promise. Nearby, Ryan stood quietly, observing. He was no longer the man he once was. The overconfidence had been stripped away, replaced with humility and awareness. He stepped forward hesitantly. "Thank you for giving me a chance to make this right," he said. Nina met his gaze, her voice steady but kind. "It's never too late to choose the right path," she said. "But it takes work, every single day." As the mural came to life, Nina turned to a camera crew documenting the moment. "If this story has moved you," she said, "please share it. Let's shine a light on the truth and demand the change we all deserve." Justice wasn't just served. It was being built, brick by brick, into the foundation of a better future. The end.